Welcome, game people, because we are gender neutral here.
I didn't know that.
That's a lie.
Oh, but I have a gender.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, you could call me. I mean, is Steven a gender neutral name? Sure.
I mean, I'm supportive, but I definitely never really had to make a choice about my gender. So
no, I think
it's hard.
Society
to
chose for me. They were like, "You're a dude." I was like, "You're right. Ladies are cool. Ladies is chill."
We have a special episode today because William Henderson is too busy looking for the road to El Dorado on his own, and he can't come in today. So we have our CDL expert.
Oh.
Despite being at the bottom of the leaderboard, our CDL expert, our pro gamer consultant. We need an official title.
I'm
for you,
the
Stephen
what is
Roth.
it? I'm the Skip Bayless of this podcast, where I just say everything wrong, and I'm like so certain my opinions are right, and then the next day I just get proven wrong.
You have the most qualifications.
I
though.
do the most
you do
qualifications.
Watch, you do play in terms of just gameplay time. You
yeah,
have.
I've been watching since literally for 10 years since Black Ops 2 came out. I've known most of these players since then.
Was there a competitive Black Ops 1?
There's been competitive play
but
since.
Was it good?
No. Black Ops 2 was the first one that had like a really good spectator mode that had a league play, that had all this stuff that the developers were like, oh, let's make a spectating mode and let's make these adjustments and cameras and things. So they did all of that. Was the first game they did that for.
Is that where like all
good.
of their I guess their current production kind of comes from? I guess
a little bit
coverage.
I think
shadows and
most
stuff.
of it came from MLG, when MLG was doing all of their live events. They went big with the live events, and the live production was always great. And then when MLG was bought out by Activision Blizzard, then Activision started the league. They just took all those crew members and just condensed it.
They consolidated everyone. It's like, hey, just put everyone under the same fucking
thing.
roof.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but the live events are where it's at. When the things open up, we got to go because those are fun.
I mean, there seems to be a light at the end of the tunnel, and I say that with an asterisk because that is assuming this tunnel goes straight. Like,
yeah, well, I mean, we're getting more and more. There's different types of vaccines now, so once everybody gets them, I'll take, because they were like, what's that? Johnson & Johnson one's like 70% effective. Okay, so that's still, dude, that's a C+. Like,
yeah,
I'll fucking
well, and that's also like, did we just talk about this? I don't know if we did, but like the percentage now, the percentages that are coming out now are more accurate than the percentages that came out before because now there's more strains.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't understand that.
Yeah, well,
they're like, it's not as good. It's like, actually, it's probably as good.
Yeah, because like most things, like the flu shot is effective for certain strains, and they just have to update it, and they just adjust a few variances for the flu.
Oh, there's DLC for vaccine, bro?
Yeah.
That fucking sucks.
That's why there's a new flu vaccine every year.
Dude, I haven't gotten a flu vaccine
changes
like ever.
Oh, I know. And I was like, this is probably what's gonna make me start getting vaccines for everything.
Yes, but no. I don't know.
I mean, if they could come to my house, I don't want to go out and do it. I don't want to drive to a place. I don't want to wait in line. I don't want to register online for things. I want them to come to me, inject me while I'm sleeping, and then I don't have to worry about it.
I think they need to kill it, though, just like polio.
Sure.
Now you can...
Well, the flu is at an all-time low because of how everybody's masked up and no one's going outside. The flu literally is like non-existent.
I know everyone's over their mask, but I might be forever in on a mask.
It's kind of cool.
Even if it's just like it mitigate, like I haven't been sick all year. I mean, I've been sick of the year, but I've been pretty healthy. Emotionally, not so much, but whatever.
But bodily, you haven't had a night of vomiting and fevers.
I don't really vomit. I'm not a big vomiter.
Oh, if I get a fever, I'm gonna vomit.
Really?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I usually try to mitigate it,
but I'm like 90% gonna vomit all the time. Like that's just me having like a upset stomach. Like my tummy just always.
What upsets your tummy the most?
I don't know. I wonder what it could be.
Semen. Coffee.
Gas station coffee.
Gas station coffee's good though. See, like
it's good, but I'll shit 3 times.
Well, do you mix that bitch up with like plenty of milk and sugar and?
No, all right. I have a system.
What are you doing with your coffee, Bert Kreischer?
I have a system. I go in there, I fill it up halfway with their regular specialty coffee, which is like, it's not the extreme Java or whatever. And this is like if you're at AM PM. It's the regular coffee. And then I go to that machine where you can get like the cappuccinos, where it has like French vanillas, pumpkin spice latte, cafe mocha. I go to that. I filled almost all of it up with that. And then I go to the creamer station and I put some French vanilla creamer in that bitch. And then I stir it up and it's delicious. That's my coffee.
That is good. And that's
good.
That's definitely upsetting your stomach.
That's definitely going to make me shit. Because whatever's in that French vanilla is like 90% sugar.
You can, I think, well, maybe 7-Eleven does, but I don't know if AM/PM does, but they have like a sugar-free French vanilla that is legit.
No. It's not the French vanilla creamer. It's that French vanilla cappuccino.
Oh.
Because if I don't drink all of it by the end of the day and I pour it out, it's just syrup.
Yup.
And it's like,
okay.
okay.
That sounds like a good shit, bro.
Yeah, that sounds
That's like when you open up your grinder and you're like, that's just Keef?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Oh, Grinder, not the app.
I can add it more. Oh, I mean, that's if you want.
When you open up
Sure.
your Grinder.
I've never opened up Grinder. When I was single, I tried. I really tried the dating app thing. It seems way more convenient.
Do you not know what Grinder is?
I know it. I know the reference, but I've never been on it.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I'm too old for dating apps. But then I see old people on the dating apps. And
yeah, what they need them for. Anyways.
I'm not a dating app dude.
We went way off topic.
Fucking
CDL,
dude. We
dude.
got all time. We got the whole morning. I still got coffee.
No, this. I mean, and I don't know what a flat white is. When you said you wanted that, I was like, all right.
It's there's a special type of espresso with it.
Okay.
And then it's.
Is it one of those like up down upside down ones that they make? You seen those Americanos? They make them upside down. I don't know what the fuck that means.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know what the fuck
What's
that
an
means.
Americano?
They go in. They go
South Americano.
They go. I want it upside down, and I'm like, I don't know what that fucking means.
What do you do it like a blizzard? You turn that bitch upside down, be like, get it quick.
I think like there's a way you make it. It's like this layer, this layer, this layer, and then when you do it upside down, it's now the layers.
Do you like pumpkin? This is random. Like pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
So I make an upside down pumpkin crunch cake.
Oh, okay, for sure.
So the crust
is on top,
and it's all crispy, and you cut into the pumpkin crunch. Dude, this shit's so fire, but it's also wild. Oh, I wanted to get to that. So your gas station coffee, I think, is what started me on this coffee habit. Because for the listeners that don't know, I struggle with a coffee addiction. I know that I'm addicted, and if I don't have it, it's a day ruiner, like legit.
You get headaches,
headache and cranky and. So I know that every few days I have to take a day off, and sometimes I don't, and I just go for 3 months straight. So I have a problem, but I think it's because of gas station coffee, because I used to do that same shit. I started with an AM/PM mocha, and I was like, yo, this is like hot chocolate with a little bit of kick in it.
Yep.
This is the shit. And then I was like, all right, this is a lot of sugar because I started getting older. So I started doing what you're doing, half regular coffee and then the cappuccino machine. And then I was like, oh, fuck, this is dangerous.
It's so good.
I got that for a long time.
Yeah,
and I
still
will.
Months. I've been doing it for months now.
If I'm on like a road trip, if I'm driving to Vegas or something, I'm getting a coffee and some donuts, I'm going to get that fucking rocket fuel.
Yeah, half and half, baby.
Yeah. And 7-Eleven now, they have like coconut oil creamers and shit. Like I can make it legit rocket fuel. Oh
yeah. No, I went into I think it was a 76 and they had like a coffee station, and it's got its own name. It's like Ralph's Coffee Station, whatever. And they had all these different creamers and all these different coffees, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, and then they had like the toppings, and they had the different syrups. And I was like,
they got to give you like a museum headset so a curator can explain.
I was just like, where's the barista? Because like, and someone's got to be making it. I can't do this, but I did, and it was delicious. And for like $2.
Where, in your opinion, what gas station has the best coffee?
Pilots.
What the fuck is a Pilots?
Flying J's Pilots. It's where the truckers go, right?
Oh, okay.
And you need good shit for the truckers, but it's also
you gotta sell meth.
Yeah, it's also a subscription like thing. So you go there, you have a card, and you get discounts on the gas, and it's literally for anyone, but it's mostly truckers. And their coffee is this giant machine where you can see the different beans, and you can pick the beans you want, and it grinds it and steams it and does it all right there in front of your face. And they've got also the station with the syrups, and they've got cold brews, and they've got everything in there. And so
you're saying if I want to get good coffee, I have to go to Fontana?
There's one. Oh yeah, both of them I know are in Fontana. Shit, there's one.
I gotta go to
one off Cherry,
Fontana, or I gotta go to Barstow.
I think there was one in Ontario. I think so, maybe.
Pilots, hit us up. I need to know where some good coffee is.
Good fucking coffee. They have one. It's like their strongest one. Oh my God, is it delicious?
I don't know. My favorite spread of coffee in general is not Starbucks. Wow, is 7-Eleven. Because they'll line theirs up, you walk in and it's Baskin Robbins. You got 31 flavors, bro. What do you need? They got timers on that shit, and they switch that shit out. Like, I think they take their coffee seriously.
Yeah, that's what I liked about Pilots, man. Is they had all the different, they had like 20 different types of creamers, and then they had like you could just get regular like powdered creamer, and then they sold me on the cold brews because they had like 3 different types of cold brew. It was like a vanilla cold brew and all this other, and then it has a little thing where it's like if you add this much coffee with this much cold brew with this syrup and then this topping, you get this amazing drink. And I was like, thanks for putting that there. That's great. It's like when Burger King used to put the thing where you can mix the different sodas, and then it was like,
dude, I haven't been to a McDonald's in a while. Have you? Apparently, they've stepped up their coffee game.
I haven't had a coffee.
Apparently,
in a while.
Like the McCafe end
delicious.
of things, like is borderline like competing with Starbucks in terms of just revenue and quality. Not that Starbucks is great, but it's like it's not McDonald's coffee anymore.
Well, because McDonald's coffee just used to taste like hot water.
Yeah, especially if they just reuse the beans.
Yeah. All right. Well, anytime I go to a McDonald's, it's usually not to get coffee. It's like I'm like, let me get a McChicken.
What's your? I mean, do you have a top 3? What do you get at McDonald's?
My number one that I go and get all the time. Just give me a number one. I want a number one, no pickles with a apple pie. That's my meal.
It's a Big Mac?
Big Mac, no pickles, apple pie. The drink doesn't matter. Give me a Coke, a Sprite, doesn't matter.
There was a someplace in the UK, very ambiguous, but there was a place where they were selling Big Macs, and McDonald's was trying to sue them. They're like, dude, you can't use our logo or our name. And they lost because they were calling them Big Macs like before McDonald's.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
They're like, no, we're an establishment, bro.
Yeah. I heard, were you the one that told me the San Bernardino McDonald's burned down? The museum?
I did not. That wasn't
me.
somebody.
So I forgot who it was, but yeah, the McDonald's the first ever McDonald's, the one that's in San Bernardino, it's off of like 8th Street and like 26th, and they turned it into a museum. It's a landmark, and it burned to the fucking ground.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and that sucks because that's historic. Right
yeah,
there.
I mean that's kind of like that would be like if the Mission Inn burned down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's great. I that's the thing when people are like, because I work downtown, and when people are like downtown's ratchet, and it's like on one hand yes, but on the other hand, it's
some beautiful landmarks there.
That's a historical landmark. That's the Mission Inn.
Yeah,
like it's ratchet because y'all are responsible. That's why.
I know they're trying to fix it up. I know San Bernardino's fixing up the Carousel Mall. They just signed a contract.
Really?
They just signed a contract with a developer that's going to be redesigning
Holy
the
shit!
Carousel
I thought
Mall.
they were just going to turn it into a giant paintball field. I
thought they were just
something.
going to level it, and then that was going to be it, and it was just going to be like a homeless encampment for the next 5 years. But
I mean, that's a good use of it too. I'm not
opposed to letting the homeless live there.
They should just make it a homeless encampment.
There's probably homeless people living in there.
Yeah, just let them stay there, bro.
Yeah.
Give them like little places. Let them rent it out.
Yeah. So they're going to be redesigning the Carousel Mall.
Holy shit! Wow.
Yeah.
How long has that place like been nothing?
When I worked at Ford, you could still go in and get Chinese food there, and then
that was the only spot.
It was the only spot that was open. There was nothing else open in there but this small little Chinese restaurant. And then about a year into working at Ford, the whole place shut down. They boarded everything up. Oh, wow. And so that was like 3 years ago.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Wow, that's weird. Weird to think about. That's like that reminds me of the Moval Mall.
Yeah.
Because when I lived in Moval, it was like right at the tail end of the recession,
Mm-hmm.
and that shit was tragic.
Dude, and they had that. There was like a bowling alley in there, wasn't there, in the Moval Mall?
No, I was going there before they built the bowling alley. Yeah, when they put it in, I was like, you know, this place is gonna close, right?
And it's still kicking. My buddy played a show there. My buddy and his boy band back in the day, they played a show there at the Gameworks.
Yeah,
on like the top level. It was wild. It was like, this place is popping.
It is.
Yeah.
But like, to be fair, my judgment was I was like 22 or something. I didn't fucking know.
Money is money, dude. If people bring in enough of it, people are gonna show up.
Yeah, it was also scary though, because like when I lived in the Bay Area, there was a mall that I'd go to there, and that one was even scarier because I think I got to the Bay Area in like 2009 or something, and that's like, you know, people were freaking the fuck out still.
I took a vacation to go to Alcatraz with a girlfriend of mine a couple of years ago.
Been to Alcatraz, except on Tony Hawk's Underground.
Yeah, and Call of Duty. They had the Black Ops. They had the Alcatraz map. Anyways,
which Black Ops?
I think it's Black Ops 2.
I don't know if I played Black Ops 2.
Yeah, they had an Alcatraz map. These are 2 or 3. But I was looking for a cheap place to stay, and I didn't know shit about San Francisco, and I didn't know that Tenderloin was a really shitty area filled with like homeless people and crackheads. I didn't know that, and so it wasn't even a hotel in the Tenderloin. It was a hostel in the Tenderloin.
Wow.
And that was a terrifying experience, and I deserve everything for not reading into that.
Did you see the Cecil Hotel documentary?
No.
Do you know what the Cecil Hotel is?
No.
It's in Skid Row, and it's this classic. It was built right before the Great Depression.
Oh, great.
So like it was hustle.
Ritzy.
It was bustling. It's where is now Skid Row.
Oh, jeez.
But in the 20s, that shit was popping. It was cracking. So it was the Cecil Hotel, and it was the main hotel that was basically right next to a transit stop for like central LA, basically. And so all the ritzy people started going there, and then LA started becoming LA, especially after the Great Depression, and they had to slowly like transition to it. So now it's like, obviously, since then, 700 rooms, almost every single room somebody's died in.
Yeah.
Just because of the amount of time it's been there.
Yeah.
And also now it's Skid Row.
Yeah, people doing drugs and overdosing.
So they started turning it into like tenants and stuff because there's like a homeless project outreach that I guess in Skid Row is like the only place in LA you can get actual homeless services.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Which is fucking bananas. That they'll drop you off there under the guise of like, this is where you go to get help.
Wow.
Never mind that the lines are 2 months deep. Nobody has shoes. Like cops stop homeless people from leaving. Like they barricade it closed almost.
Jesus.
And the Cecil Hotel is smack dab in the middle of this bitch.
My God.
So that's the one where, do you remember that viral video of the girl? It's of the elevator and the girl, and she looks like she's talking to something and no one's there.
Oh, my girlfriend was watching this on Netflix.
Yes.
And there's like a whole sleuth of people trying to figure out what the hell happened to her because she like disappears, and there's like, oh, there's a foot in the corner, and she like hits all the buttons.
Yeah.
And she was watching that while I was playing Call of Duty, so I don't know what the fuck happened, but I would like lean back and I was like, that seems interesting.
Yeah.
They started like randomly talking about Christopher Dorner. I was like, I remember when that shit happened, where the cop went off and was killing other people.
And the mainstream media wanted us to believe that he was just a terrorist doing it for no reason.
Yeah, like, and then it turns out that he had, like, in his manifesto, he's like, I'm tired of being 1, mistreated, 2, never heard, and 3, like because of my skin color at being.
Yeah, I'm tired of being the good cop.
Yeah, he goes, I'm trying to be a good cop, and they fired me for it.
Yeah.
And
so everyone's going down with me.
They deserve that shit.
And
also, do you remember when those cops just shot into a truck full of there was two chicks in a truck that they wasn't even looked like the truck that Christopher Dorner was driving. I think it was just the same color.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And they filled it full of bullet holes, and somehow those women didn't die.
Totally. I was thinking about you talking about the UPS truck.
No, and the cops, they were like, well, it was reasonable force. It was during a stressful time for them.
Yeah, we were at a time of war.
Yeah. Fucking ridiculous. Shout out to Christopher Dorner. You know what? Gone too soon.
I mean, I don't think you should ever kill anyone in cold blood. I don't
he killed like some random people. Like
he went up straight to just dudes.
Some shit. Yeah, it was
just dudes, which is fucking rude, bro. Kill your partner first.
Kill your partner, kill your captain, and that's it.
Yeah, kill the people in your precinct, and then go on your rage. Then like do something right.
Yeah. Former military too, so he knew what the fuck he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, what fuck? They like cornered him in Big Bear, right?
Yeah, and he set he set the place on fire or they set the place on fire.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
Yeah, yeah. I think from what I know that it burned to the ground and he died.
Have you seen Judas and the Black Messiah on HBO?
No, I don't have HBO.
Oh, fuck. It's about the Black Panthers and how...
it's got the guy who's from...
Daniel Kaluuya. Yeah. He's does a fucking
I've
great
heard
job.
about... I think I listened to a podcast about that. The CIA infiltrated and they put a guy in to try to...
The FBI.
FBI.
Yeah.
They put a guy in there to essentially rat him out, and then they assassinated him or something shit like that.
They were following. It's Fred Hampton.
Fred Hampton. That's the guy.
Fred Hampton is the guy that died, and he was the chairman of the Chicago wing of the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
And he was becoming.
And they like filled him full of bullets, didn't they?
His rat. We'll get to his rat in a second. What happened is they stormed his apartment.
The
FBI stormed his apartment. And there was a firefight that ensued, according to the cops.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was that Fred Hampton got shot in the crossfire.
Yeah.
But across the board, separately, everyone reported the same thing. And what happened was the FBI showed up. The guy that was on guard duty, obviously, because Black Panther, answered the door. The police didn't identify themselves and filled him with bullets.
Yeah.
And so there were like 100 shots that were counted at the site, and one shot was not from a cop gun.
Of course.
And it was the guard who was answering the door. And as he got shot, the shotgun went off in the ceiling. And that was the one shot.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, you hear about that kind of shit all the time, and it's fucking bananas.
Yeah. And then so his rat, who was like, according to the movie, in the Black Panthers, basically like their security advisor, because he knew how to like wire up buzzers and stuff. He was their rat. He gave him the blueprint to the thing. His job from the FBI was to give Fred Hampton a sedative, so that when they get stormed, he wasn't going to do anything. So what happened, again, this is the reports from everyone else and not the cops. What happened was the cops filled the apartment with lead. They dragged everyone that was shot and wasn't shot, beat them with their guns, dragged them out. And when Fred was the last one in, and at least 3 of them say they heard this, they go, "Oh, wow, he's going to make it," because he got shot in the shoulder in the crossfire. And so they plugged him twice in the head.
Oh, my God.
Like, because he was uniting all of the minorities. He was uniting the Spanish, everyone.
There was that documentary. It's like the bombing of Philadelphia or some shit like that. Where I believe it was in Philly. It's either Philly or Pennsylvania. Where there was I guess you can call it a congregation of black people who were basically starting like a communism type thing, where they were starting their own religion and their own government, and they didn't like the government that they were in, so they just had all of these houses on a block, and they were
a compound,
and
Rogan's compound. Let's be real.
Yeah. So the cops went in there to move them out because there was noise complaints and there was children everywhere. I mean, they were just living their life like if they were natives, essentially. Right. It's just living in proper homes. So the police went in, tried to move them out. Didn't fucking work. It started this whole revolution. They dropped a bomb on the city block from a helicopter on these people. And when the buildings caught fire, they told the fire department, let the block burn. Just let the block burn. Yeah, and it burned a bunch of homes with people that had nothing to do with it. It was fucking wild. And then the only person that was arrested was one of the leaders of the congregation, and they sent her to prison for 40 years for arson. Even though the cops were the ones that started the fire.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude.
So.
Cops and white people are responsible for a lot of suburban bombings and shit.
A lot of shit.
Oh. Fucking firefighters.
That's why I play Call of Duty. So I don't have to fucking deal with the realities of the outside world.
Shit's so scary. Yeah, you're right. But, I mean, then I deal with stresses of, like, 7-year-olds calling me the N-word.
I have my voice chat disabled, so I don't hear anything. I don't say anything to anyone, but then I get upset when like no one's following my call outs. So I'm like, why we're not rotating beat? Oh, it's because my voice chat's off.
But also, like, do you hear the kill comms?
Nope.
Fuck, dude.
My
that's
voice
the best
chat's
part.
Disabled. No.
You don't even get. No, come on. I leave it on for that. I need to know.
There was one I saw of a guy like shot a guy, and as a kid, and the kid couldn't remember. He sounded like he was 11. He was like, "Fuck this game. I'm gonna go jerk off." And he was like, "What did he say?"
The other day, well, I haven't played Cold War in a couple days because the free trial's up.
Did you enjoy the game though?
I enjoyed the game, and I will buy it.
It's a fun game.
All of my money is in cash right now, so I have to buy it online. Because I don't want to buy the disc. I'm over the disc at this point. Let me fire up my PlayStation and let it go.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna buy it online, but I haven't played. But the last rounds I played, there was one where I got half of my kill streak points from the same dude.
Nice.
Because he was just locked in that spawn.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. And then that's when the voice chat just kept coming like, mother, son of shit, let me play.
Yeah.
And so I can't believe you turned that off. Psychopath.
No distractions. I need to hear footsteps. I don't want to hear people talking. I just got to hear. I'm locked in the game, dude.
Yeah, but apparently it doesn't help your picks.
No. No, my picks are garbage.
Why? What happened here? Tell the
Okay.
listeners where are we at right
Where
now?
I went wrong.
How astounded are you by my picks? But first off,
That's the one that blew my mind. When you chose LA Gorillas over LA Thieves, I was like, George doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Why would the Gorillas ever beat the Thieves? And then they 3-0'd the Thieves. And I went, George is from the future.
yeah.
George knows way more about anything. You were like 6-0 in the last week.
I'm going to start a compound, right? We're going to have proper houses. We're all going to live in it. I'm going to build a wall. It's going to be bomb-proof, though.
You got to make it bomb-proof. I think you do a magic spell.
Yeah, I am from the future. Welcome. There have been a few time aberrations, admittedly.
It happens.
That happens. Yeah, that's when we watch Doctor Strange and the multiverse. We'll understand why shit's going crazy.
I was doing so good. Day one, I was on the money both matches.
You were too. You were like money for money. I was like, oh wow,
what a good run. I know what's going on. I'm in it. I know the major. And then the next day, that it all just went to shit, and I was so mad. And then Paris Legion lost, and fucking my bracket's destroyed. And then I had Optic winning 3-2. I knew it was going to go to a game 5, and so when they lost the hard point and it was going to a game 5, I'm like, all right, I'm doing good. It's going to a game 5. Then it got to a round 11 and I was sweating, and I was like, please.
I watched the highlights of that game.
God, it was so good.
Stressful, dude.
Stressful. As an Optic fan, it was really stressful.
It's like I felt like I was trying to get a nuke. Like
I've never.
Fuck it.
This is the first time Optic lost both hard points in a series.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Is that their game?
That is their game, is hardpoint. Well, actually, I think statistically their game is control. They don't lose control. I don't think they've ever lost a game of control, but hardpoint was also their game. And Search and Destroy was not their game, and they won the Search to tie up the series. Then they won the control to go up in the series, lost the hardpoint.
I wish I got to play control.
Oh, you didn't get a chance to?
I didn't. No, like
control's fun.
The trial version gives you very limited. Like I think it's different. Like if you're the party leader and you have it, I think you can drag us into games.
Yeah.
But the free trial was very limited. It was a very standard COD list of domination, face off, gunfight.
Okay.
And so I had a good time with. I was playing domination because I needed to learn the maps, and that's usually what I do. Is just go that. But then it's weird. When you go from like objective based to score and kill based games because the lanes kind of change.
Yeah, and that's why like I brought Will into a league match with me, and he was doing great. We were playing Surge, and I was getting shit on. I didn't get a single kill. Everywhere I went, I was getting sniped by the same dude. Every lane I went to. That's why I was like, this is so annoying. I was like, please get rid of snipers. They're not in the game that the pros play. Please don't put them in the game that I'm supposed to be playing that's like the pros.
Yeah.
Like, don't put them in here. So every lane I went, I was getting sniped. Will had like a 1v1 clutch. It looked great. And so I love playing Cold War. I love the league play, except for the snipers. I love control. I love hardpoint.
They have to fix that, though.
I'm tired of playing Search. Every time I played 5 Search games in a row.
Oh wow!
On league play, and I was like, I am so sick of playing Search.
Do you think because everyone else is also sick of Search that they back out when they see that it's a Search game? And
it could be. I think it's just the algorithm. I think it's because there's so many more maps they play Search and Destroy on that it just gets grabbed. I think it goes map based, and then as it rolls into the map, it does like a little pinwheel of what it's going to be, and it's like hardpoint to control, hardpoint, search and destroy. Yeah, and so
1v1 snipers only.
I know. So, but I mean, I still love playing it. I haven't played in a little bit. I've been playing Destiny with my girlfriend.
Nice. Yeah, I saw somewhere she said playing with you is like playing with a god.
Yeah, we were playing a match, and she had died, and there was an invader. And I pulled out my sword so I could 3-peek the corner, and I was waiting for him to come up. And as he came around the corner, I hit him with my sword. And she was sitting behind me on the bed, and she was like, "I saw that." And I was like, "Yeah, I know what I'm doing in this game."
What I don't like is when I play games with my friends, I consistently suck, and I have all my matches by myself. It's like comedy. It's like all my great sets, none of my friends fucking see.
Yeah.
And they all think I suck, and I do, but you have to know what I'm also capable of.
Yeah.
Like, you need to know that it goes this far, too. It always comes back, but there's some games where I'm like...
The first night I came back, and Jonathan was there, and and he was telling me, he's like, "Yeah, I'll watch your set." Or he didn't. I don't think he said he was gonna watch my set, but I told him I was gonna show up that day to do. It was my first day of comedy, and he went on before me. So of course, when you go on before comics, you just leave. And so then I did my set, and I was leaving. And he was like, "You going up yet?" And I was like, "I just got off." And he was like, "Sorry." I was like, "Yeah, it is what it is." I was like, "It was good though." there was a joke in there I was talking to you about this morning. Kind of wanted you to see. It's fine. We'll talk about it later.
What a terrible friend. Not that he listens to this, but what a terrible friend, guys. If you see Jonathan
Tynes, hit him in the ball.
tell him he's a fucking asshole. Yeah, just give him a quick sack tap. You
Whack.
see him in the middle of an auto zone.
Yeah.
You turn the corner while he's looking at floor mats. What's up? Walk away.
Anyways, we were going to get to it before the podcast, but I was talking about my ears.
Yes.
And the syringe, like,
Yes.
warm water
Talk to me
syringe.
about your earwax problem.
Dude,
So
oh my
did
God.
it affect your hearing?
Yeah.
Were you revolutionary warring your eardrums? Were you
Essentially.
just shoving that shit down?
Essentially, that's what, and like my girlfriend was helping me out a little bit, but she couldn't get the angle right. So I was like, I got it because I can feel it and I have control of my hand. So I was doing it. And there was a moment where she just goes, "Oh my God!" And I look in the sink, and there's just this massive chunk of black, like from deep within, that pushed its way out.
It's probably just like a combination of sweat, wax, and metal filings from work.
Yeah. The other day my nose was bleeding. I was like, my nose is bleeding, and she's like, it's probably from all the acrylic dust you're breathing in. I'm like, oh, you're probably right.
Yeah. All those like micro tears in your capillaries and shit.
Yep. Yeah. But so when
Yeah,
all
you
of
need a
that
new job, bro.
when all that was coming out, I was blown away. She was like, there's just a stream of like brown. And I was like, yeah, it's just I could hear better the next day. I was like, this is incredible. Like, I didn't know there was
You're like,
so
see,
much.
babe, our relationship is better now.
Yeah. When it was like, I say what, huh, all the time because I can't hear shit. I still really can't, but it was at least like a 20% improvement in hearing. But I was like, wow, like I didn't know it was.
You
that
ever get
bad.
something stuck in your ear?
I don't think I've ever had anything stuck.
My girlfriend got something stuck in her ear one time. One of her, she gotten her nails done. She got like fake nails.
Oh.
And I guess she was scratching her ear while she was sleeping or something.
Oh my God.
She woke up the next morning and her nail was gone.
Oh,
and
no.
And like her ear was
hurt.
eared. So she was like playing with it and she was like, I think my nail is in my ear.
Oh my God.
And this fucker went deep.
Oh my God.
Deep. and she had to it would be fine. 40 to 60% of the day it would be fine. Totally fine.
How was that not an immediate thing you go get taken care of?
Well, here's the problem. And this is the fucking American medical system for you.
Oh,
but like
no.
so most of the time it was okay but it happened on a Saturday. And so I don't remember if we went to a doctor, urgent care, or an ER or whatever, but we went to go see someone and they were like, okay, I'll try to get it out.
They pushed it in deeper.
Yeah, it went deeper. His forceps weren't small enough.
how it goes.
So on one hand, we did get our money back from that place because he was like, I can't do anything for you. I apologize. But he was like, you have to call
a specialist.
Call a specialist. Here's a person. So that specialist, for some reason, wasn't available.
Oh, we'll see you next month.
It happened Thursday. So Friday we took her in, and he was gone for the weekend.
Yeah.
And so Monday was when we finally got in touch with the office, and the first opening was Thursday. So she had to spend a whole week with basically this sharp thing plugging into her eardrum.
Like about to pierce her brain.
Yeah. I was trying so hard to be like, what do you need? What do you talk to me? Because like I'm sure this is unbearable because it would randomly just fire pain into her head. Like she could barely drive. She still drove to work because she's an animal. But
ear stuff freaks me out. Like when I hear stories of people that have like bugs in their ears or like a sack of like insects. Or oh God.
That tryptophobia shit. Right? Fuck
that.
Painful. Dude. But I mean, how much better can you hear?
Not much better, but a little bit better.
Noticeably?
Noticeably better. Yeah.
Have you ever used one of those fire funnels?
No, what I had before was because it has the same concept where you put the oil in your ear, you lay on your side, you let it fizzle up, and it's going to eat away at the wax, and then you suck it out. I had a little thing that sucked it out. This one was just flushing with
had a
water.
little thing.
Yeah, you know those little where you
it's called a girlfriend.
Yeah. Those little bubble things where you squeeze it and it like, and then you squeeze it and it one of those.
Yeah. Turkey baster.
Yeah.
Right? Or like an eye droplet.
Essentially. But like it just sucking something out with a little tiny hole at the end and all you have is the suction of the air. Is the suction of the air. It's not nearly as good as flushing a whole thing of water to push it out. So this was way better. It's the same
Interesting.
oils, but
Interesting.
oh my god, it's nice.
What also works, and it's very low price, I guess, is just mineral oil.
Mineral oil?
Yeah, because the primary substance of earwax is sweat.
Yeah.
And so it dissolves it. You let it come out.
I had
if
a
you
doctor,
do that regularly, you should be okay.
I've had I get ear infections all the time, and I had a doctor. He's like, yeah, he goes, your earwax doesn't clump the way it's supposed to. And he goes, you have a problem with your earwax. He's like, so he goes, most earwax, it forms and then it usually will fall out of the ear or is easy to clean. He goes, yours is just crumbling and crusting and then becoming one thing and then falling deeper into your ear. I was like, oh, cool. So I'm broken.
Sounds like good weed wax. Speaking of which, there's
just resin.
There's a lab nearby that was making wax and it exploded.
Sweet.
Hella close.
Wow. Yeah, because you have to use butane, right?
I mean, there's plenty of ways to make it now. You don't only have to use a can of butane and an oven. It's fucking. It's the cheapest way, and I'm like, dude.
My girlfriend got
a
pen yesterday. Last night we were hitting it, and she goes, yeah, the shop said this isn't wax, it's live resin, and I had never heard that term before, and I took 2 hits off that shit, and it was wild. Just it's way harder than regular concentrate.
I don't know what you kids are doing. What is live?
I don't know what live resin is.
Is it the probiotic of marijuana?
I don't know, because resin in my brain is just the residue of the weed bowl. And you just scrape that shit off, and that's resin, right?
Yeah.
That's what resin was.
When you're poor, and you're like, I'm out of weed, bro.
Yeah.
Just smoking dry bowls.
What the fuck is live resin? I don't know. But it was good shit.
Good shit?
Yeah.
Isn't it weird how legal marijuana is? Right?
It's pretty wild.
In
considering
hindsight,
how fucked up you can get off of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's got that story.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, you're missing out.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's
several.
I think it's important to know where the line is, and weed will drag you out to the point where you're like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I'm not dying, but
no, I found out just last week that if you mix melatonin gummies with wax pens, you will trip balls like you're doing mushrooms.
Don't tell the kids that. Fuck, dude. He's like, if I take vitamin C and I grab my cock till it gets red.
I didn't know it. I had to Google it. That melatonin can cause psychosis, and psychosis is essentially the same as being on a mushroom trip. And so, yeah. Shit was wild.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That sounds uncontrollable.
It was not fun. My girlfriend had to console me. I was like, I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what's going on.
Shut up. You just wanted her to hug you.
Yeah, it felt great. Her skin's warm.
You're like, I'm lost.
What is this? Did this go to an ornament?
I don't know. It's probably some kind of.
Anyways.
I don't know. I just live here.
So your picks didn't save your bracket?
No, I see. This is the third time, I would say.
Sucks.
Because I don't know why. I do it mostly on the phone.
We can scrap the points from the fucking thing, or we can just restart and do it and ditch this whatever, and restart from stage 2 and see if it works that way.
Yeah. We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
I know who's gonna win though, so it's not exciting for me. When trying to reread a book and stuff.
Well, right now Will got 16 points so far in the major, and I've only got 6.
Yeah, well, Will's a fucking nerd. Okay, he likes baseball and shit.
He does.
I'm not okay with it.
Well, my whole bracket is screwed up already because my prediction for the final was Optic versus Subliners, and they're both in losers bracket right now.
Yeah,
so
Subliners. Yeah, they kind of just, I don't know, they felt.
Well, I knew that they were going to lose to Optic because I thought it was going to be a closer game, though. Optic came out hot and 3-0'd them, but I thought Optic was going to beat Dallas, and then I thought they would also beat FaZe, and I thought they would just rematch with Subliners in the final, but they both went in the losers bracket, and I think if Optic wins their match today, they play Subliners tomorrow.
Huh.
So that's going to be hard for me.
That'd be a fun game, though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, well, I think they play Thieves. I think they play Thieves today. If they beat Thieves, they play Subliners tomorrow, which is so, I love LA. I love...
Yeah, the Gorillas. I get it.
Who are the Gorillas playing? They might be playing Subliners.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I can't find it, though.
It's okay. It's fine. But, the major has been great. I love this format. They're doing
It's definitely affected my play style.
Yeah.
For sure. It helped. I was telling Will that it helped, playing maps that I had watched because I'm like, oh, I've been here before.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah, it's fun, and like for me, especially in Control, it helped me like learn to rotate between both points. They're like, all right, we were at B, but we all went 3 down, so they're still over at B, but we're spawning kind of close to A, and they're not going to be set up enough time before we get there, which is what I see the pros do. If they're like hard on B, but they all get wiped, they just go straight to A because they know that there's going to be no one over there because they're all set up to watch B. And unless you've already captured A, then you're fucked. But yeah, like they do, especially on Raid, it's a really good back and forth. Raid, I think, is the best Control map. That one has the most opportunity to either get you a win off of offense or on defense. Like if it's a 4-down situation on either side, it's always gonna be good. But yeah, like watching the pros play will affect how you play.
There's that one map. There's like ropes that you come down from the cliff. It looks like a Battlefront map.
Yeah, and it's super big and deserty.
Yeah. That on Domination really...
Smog trap on A.
Yeah.
Smog all the way to the back of the rocks.
That was the one that was like, dude, you guys need to rethink this.
Yeah,
like,
that map is interesting. And what I like about that map, though, is that if you use a sniper rifle, it gives you a haze over your scope because of the sand. Which is kind of cool.
Well, maybe it happens on yours, but on my PlayStation 4 first gen,
there's no graphics for those.
There isn't even sand on the ground. It's just, I will say that the graphics get a little wonky. I don't know if that happens for you regularly.
No, because I have a nice PC.
But sometimes it struggles when I'm waiting to spawn in, especially the first spawn in where everything's still loading that first go. Sometimes I'll be able to spectate the game, but some of the textures won't be there and it'll be transparent. And it's like I'm looking straight through the ship and I see water, but people are running.
Yeah.
But it's just spectator. And once I spawn, everything's there.
Yeah.
But up until then, it's weird. I think my other guest is here. Pause.
Who's your other guest? Beltran. There's dogs barking and George is walking silent. He looks so good. We're not. It's okay. It happens.
Have a seat. Chill out.
Yeah,
Boom, we're back.
I was playing with a friend and his wife, and she was saying, we were getting into a match, and she was like, and it was Search and Destroy, and she was like, I'll be in there in round 2, because her PC is so old that it just took forever to load her in with all the textures. And yeah, she came in like by round 2, she was in that.
But cleaned up, made it count.
Yeah.
So it is, I do regularly get impressed though at the textures in the multiplayer just in general. I'm like, this looks fucking great, dude.
Yeah. Someone took a video and it looks just like Warzone where the guy's like inspecting his gun in the air and he like loads it, and it was a real life video, but it looks just like the Warzone where it's like, dude, like video games are getting crazy.
Yeah.
That almost looks video game-ish, but it's reality. Like, it's so wild.
Yeah. That's why when the textures weren't loading, I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
Shit's getting crazy now. Like,
it's
I'm not mad.
Yeah. It's like the whole Cyberpunk thing when people are like, why are the textures so shitty? It's like, well, your PlayStation is old.
Yeah.
And the graphics
your
are crazy now.
Are too big.
Yeah.
The
graphics are crazy.
We're going to get like an atomic television, I'm sure, at some point. Like, I mean, I guess technically speaking, atoms make everything. And so right now, an LED screen
is an atomic television.
Maybe a quantum display.
Yeah, something like that. I know that they're doing...
I'm going to come.
They're doing something right now. Vizio is putting something out because we've been making displays for them. They have some kind of
Whoa, bro, you signed an NDA.
I did not sign an NDA.
Oh, okay,
and all it is for the graphics. But they have a new TV out that's like really insane quality. So, but it's also like $4,000. So you want to buy a $4,000
No, you want to put that on your Scorpion. That's what you want.
It's like, and they're big too. They're like 80-inch screens.
Dude, I put my projector and I put it on that wall. And granted, the quality is not great, but having a screen that's the size of a wall,
it's pretty great.
Makes up for all the quality that you don't have. You're like, this is great. I'm just gonna lay across the street and watch The Simpsons.
In high school, my buddy had a projection screen, and he bought Black Ops 1. It was the first Black Ops, and we played it on a projection screen. Not an ideal way to play Call of Duty.
I imagine.
Yeah, a lot of latency in between the game and the projection.
Just how light works.
Yeah, but it was still cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. Like I just watching, I was like, dude, I want to play like Halo 2.
Oh yeah,
on a IMAX screen.
Yeah. I'm glad that they remastered all the Halos.
They sit there, you sit over there, you talk shit.
Yeah.
Your ass,
yeah. Did I ever send you the clip of him saying that?
No, but I found
it. Yeah. It's so great.
Your ass.
I love it.
They should have they should all fight.
I think someone almost did once. Someone almost did. I think back in the day, Aches, who used to be on the Gorillas, but is like, I think he's like a substitute now. He pushed Nadeshot, who's the owner of 100 Thieves, like after a match, he just straight up, like, they were going over there to give the GGs and you do the fist bumps, and Aches just straight up pushed Nadeshot like
pussy.
Yeah, like, all right, man.
Should be like a real this is how we decide. You guys play all these games, and then every team submits their fighter.
Yeah. From FaZe, I'm sending in Nick Merckx. He's fucking thick.
What is this? The first time you guys have come into my house?
Well, they see a closed door and they don't know what to do. They immediately. He doesn't know how to open your door. It's okay.
Need a hand? Hang on. Pause it.
He's got it. There he goes.
Thank you, Joe. We had a little craziness going on. What were we fucking talking about?
Anyway, so I wanted to bring up the CD Projekt Red thing.
Yes.
We brought up Cyberpunk, so the problem with Cyberpunk right now is that they can't put out one of their patches, one of their big patches that they were going to do, because they had a whole thing where a hacker came in and stole the source code, right? He stole the source code, held it for ransom, and was like, if you don't fix
Why did Neo do this?
Because the shitty release. This fucking hacker was like, I'm going to release your source code to the internet, to the free internet of all of your games, because you deserve this for releasing a shitty game. Even though it's not the developer's fault, it is 100% the suit's fault who wanted the game out released, and they just couldn't do it in time. So he released their source code, but not only that, he also had access to every employee's information and all of their computers. So what CD Projekt Red is afraid of is that all of their computers have been compromised. So all of their work PCs have been compromised. So they have to send in every employee's PC to CD Projekt Red's IT department to get scanned and made sure that there's no malware from this hacker. So no one is able to work on any patches for Cyberpunk because all of their PCs are being scanned and made sure. So they're like 3 months. They're gonna be like another 3 months behind on a patch.
What a unforeseen result,
right?
Or maybe not. Like, I guess that's kind of the only option. If everyone's PC, if that happens, there's a crack, then everyone has to get scanned, and that's going to take time, which means no one can work. So
yeah, it just sucks because the hacker was like, you deserve this, and you deserve more problems. But it's like, if he doesn't hack them, they have more time to resolve
fix said problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like the lack of foresight from like a 24-year-old.
It's just some dude who's pissed and doesn't understand how the fucking world works.
Yeah,
and apparently is good enough to hack an entire company.
What's the word? The phrase that's stupid.
Edgelord.
The road to hell is paved with good intentions. That for sure. Like,
I guess.
He tried.
Is a good intention really to just fuck over a company that had no control over the release date and that was entirely dependent on the suits?
No, but his heart was in the right place.
I guess.
When your heart is in the right place, I have a hard time rooting against
He's like,
I'm
doing this for the gamers, and the gamers were like, well, fuck. Well, now we're not going to get another patch because of you, you piece of shit.
Yeah. But his heart was in the right place.
Sure.
You know? Like BJ Penn.
BJ Penn wants to fight dudes
to be the best
in the
world
so that they can one day be like, I beat BJ Penn in the street. You got to sign to the UFC, and that's why I can be world champion. Yeah.
I mean, if you beat 2,000 BJ Penn in the streets, yeah, I sign you to the UFC, bro.
Rewatching the BJ Penn, George St. Pierre, where BJ was trying to get the belt, was trying to become the first ever 2-division champion. Imagine if that had happened. Fucking all the way back then, first ever 2-division champion.
And then running into this stone wall known as George St. Pierre.
I know. It's one of the most...
I am not impressed by your performance.
It was sad, like, because BJ looked not himself, super winded, out of shape. I don't know what the fuck he was dealing with. Or he just thought that he could wipe the floor with George and didn't realize that George trains harder than anyone.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is like when that's the other. I fucking hate dropping quotes, but it's hard work beats talent.
Yeah,
every time.
Hard work beats talent if talent refuses to work hard.
Yeah. And not saying BJ Penn doesn't work hard, but at a certain point, like, he knew he was good, and because he was,
he just had all the things he could fall back on.
Luke Rockhold.
Yeah.
Luke Rockhold when he fought
Bisping?
Yes, Bisping. Yeah. He's
Yep. When you think you have all these things you can fall back on, you're like, well, I'm gonna be fine. If he hits me, I can wrestle.
And we go to the ground, dude. You're fucking done.
Yeah, and that was BJ because BJ was like a black belt and was submitted like everyone he was ever like in those situations with. He was fucking killing the ground. Then George St. Pierre got on top of him and was like, oh, we're not doing jiu-jitsu, we're wrestling, you
monster.
motherfucker. Yeah, and he beat the shit out of him.
Kyokushin karate.
Yeah.
It's weird to hear another language in another language accent. Like when black dudes have French accents, it freaks me out.
From George St. Pierre, where he was like, "There's only 3 things in the world that excite me," and he was like, "Dinosaurs, women, and the thrill of the octagon."
The octagon.
Yeah, it's just so like why are dinosaurs in there?
Only 3 things excite me.
Yeah.
I like dinosaurs. Women, and the thrill of the octagon.
Yeah.
It's my terrible GSP.
Strange.
But yeah, no, dude, like for me, George St. Pierre sounds like such a nerd. It's like Mike Tyson, where it's like, yeah, you better know how to fight, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You fucking.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the guy. Like, well, someone even said it. They were like, if you just saw DC, you didn't know anything about sports. You just saw DC at a diner somewhere just eating food, you would not think that is one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Yeah. Until he sends you through the bar.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine that, like,
God.
he's doing the world a service by being a professional fighter?
Yeah.
Otherwise, some dude in the middle of Nova Scotia.
Yeah. That's how it feels about Ngannou. It's like, dude.
Oh, my fucking God, dude. Don't even talk about
when he said
that.
that he just goes back to the sand mines to humble himself.
Yeah.
Every year.
Fucking bananas, bro.
You don't need to do that.
He was like, I didn't go back for 5 years. Why? Oh, I was sneaking across countries and shit. Like, fucking crazy, dude.
They could definitely make a movie about that guy's life.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they don't use him.
Well, they were saying by the end of this month, there could be four, quote unquote, UFC African-born champions, which is that Israel would have 2. So there would be 3 fighters.
Israel's got a pretty good story too. I've been watching a lot of like his behind the fights and stuff. Yeah. I was like, oh wow, this is.
Well, same with Kamaru Usman with his father being in prison.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like why?
Holy shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so all these African-born fighters have these crazy stories because Africa.
Yeah. They're like, dude, don't fucking tell me about your struggle.
Yeah. Oh, what Kobe Covington? What? Yeah. Your mom wasn't there at wrestling practice? My dad was
in prison. $20 in my asshole because that was all I had.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, that's bananas. What about the fights? Let's talk about that real quick before we wrap it up.
Yo, I think Jan has a really good chance of beating Israel Adesanya. I really do.
And you're on Izzy's dick hard too.
I love Izzy.
Why?
Love Izzy.
What do you think makes it interesting?
What makes it interesting is the Polish power. It is a legit thing. If you watch the way he knocked out, I think it was Corey Anderson, and the way he knocked out Dominic Reyes, there is something in that hand that is wild, and it just flatlines you. And you're talking about a guy in Dominic Reyes who went 5 rounds with John Jones, took everything from John Jones, and arguably won that fight. Mm-hmm. He just gets starched in the second round by Jan, just gets fucking torched.
Yeah,
Izzy. I mean, like, he's so thin, and there's such a weight discrepancy that, because Izzy weighed in at like 200 pounds, but he's not going to be much more than that when he gets in the octagon
he's
today.
He's not going to juice up.
No, but Jan's probably going to be like 245 pounds when he gets in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
See, and I agree with you though that Jan.
It's so much weight.
I think it's just like they both have an equal opportunity to win the fight, but at very different
ways. In different ways.
You know, I feel like Jan, if he's going to win, is going to be in the first 2.5 rounds.
Yes.
He's going to put that power into your nose. Bye-bye, you're breathing out the back of your head.
Yeah.
Now. But Izzy is so technically diverse and sound.
He's going to be like, I can avoid this, I can avoid this, I can avoid this until the 3rd and 4th rounds where he can start eating away.
What do they fucking the Brazilians say? He's got to cook the beans in order to be a good fighter.
Yeah.
And so he's got to be. I mean, he's arguably one of the GOAT status, Izzy, and just style alone. Just like and he's got to mind his P's and Q's for 15 minutes.
Yeah, he's got to let Jan just burn himself out, throw a couple punches, not
but
have as
Jan
much
is
power.
good too. That's the problem. It's like, dude, they both have to be on their P's and Q's.
It's what's so crazy. And in the embedded that they were doing, where they were following Jan around, it made me a bigger fan of Jan. Like it's just great. He's such a nice guy.
Can we talk about how fucking good the UFC is at their embedded shit?
That shit is so dope because one, the fact that they even have these camera crews.
We should do that with comedy. Just saying.
Just walking everybody around with the camera, talking.
I mean, look, we have an opportunity. We can follow everyone at a mic, which is arguably their gym, their workout. We can talk to them before their workout and after their workout and what their plans are for later this year.
True.
How is that not an embedded episode?
Yeah. But so Jan's doing the thing and he's saying like in Poland they say like when you become a father, you hit twice as hard.
In the octagon.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, probably, because now you got something to fight for.
Yeah.
We see that all the time with fighters. Once they get a kid, it's like this fucking something.
Jan got that falcon punch now.
And same with Amanda Nunes. This is the first fight where she has a daughter now. So,
yeah. Let's talk about that.
Okay. One, I'm sick and tired of the UFC being like, look at this.
How do you feel about the card before we get
The card is amazing. It's like one of the best cards of the year. It's got Dominic Cruz as a prelim. Dominic Cruz
was bitching about it on Twitter a little bit.
Is the prelim. Well, I mean, he's the main event of the prelims.
He was pretending not to bitch about it while bitching about
it. He also specifically requested that Keith Peterson not referee his fight because of what happened with the Henry Cejudo fight, where he said Keith Peterson smelled like alcohol and cigarettes.
Which is fucked up to say in general.
I watched that fight so many times. Dominic was getting up, but was getting his shit rocked in the process.
Yeah.
He ate a big knee and 3 massive punches from Cejudo and was going to eat 10 more.
Yeah. Wow. Fucking brain click. Yeah. And I think the problem there, at least with Dom, was that like, he up until that point, he hadn't really been finished like that. He doesn't know what that feels like, and the fact that when you get your bell rung and you get turned off, turn back on is pretty quick.
Yeah.
And even though you might have been mentally there, it doesn't mean a kick wasn't already on its way.
Yeah, and Cejudo, we've seen like when he knocked down TJ, he swarms you.
Yeah.
He will just be all over you until the ref pulls him off.
That fucking 100-hand.
Yeah, it's going to be coming. And because he landed some great shots. There's that whole thing where I think even Dana said it, where it's like, well, it's Dominic Cruz. You know he's going to try to get back up. It's like, okay, but you can't always just think that. You can't just like, well, it's Dominic Cruz. Well, it's TJ Dillashaw. Well, it's this, it's that. These guys are warriors. It's like, no, I'd rather an early stoppage than a late one because that takes years off your life. Like the Jose Aldo fight with Petrian. Like, Jose was out of that for 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And was on his hands and knees covering his head for 3 minutes straight while Peter's hitting him in the head and the ref's not doing anything.
Yeah.
And he was just like move, Jose, and Jose would move because there's nothing else for him to do.
Yeah.
But him
move or die, bro.
But him moving still resulted in him getting his face pounded in, and that was really sad to watch. That was hard.
Yeah.
And you hate seeing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would rather not see that, and I would rather see Keith Peterson jump in when he sees you get rocked with 6 big shots.
It's a hard job to ref on one hand.
It's so hard.
But
for him to make the excuse to be like, he smelled like alcohol and cigarettes, like, fuck you.
Yeah, that's a little rude.
Just take your L.
It's rude.
Yeah.
But that's very dumb.
Yeah, I know. So now we get to see him.
That's why he's on a prelim, because he was talking shit, homie.
That's why you want a prelim. That's why you want a prelim.
Yeah.
Well, I have heard Dana say to not attack refs personally. Mm-hmm. He's like, you can't do that. He goes, because they're not employed by us.
Yeah, they're by the
athletic commissions.
Yeah.
He's like, so I remember him saying, I think he said it about one of the announcers had said something about to a ref as the ref was leaving. He's like, what the fuck is your problem? Why didn't you stop that? And Dana was like, if anyone does that again, they will be fired. He's like, because you can't be doing that to the refs.
Now you're assaulting partners.
Yeah.
Not fellow employees, partners.
Yeah.
So, that makes sense. Whether he's bad or not, shut your fucking mouth, bro.
Yeah. So to be out and publicly being like, Keith Peterson smelled like alcohol and cigarettes, well, now probably at Nevada probably was like, well, fuck, we have to do an investigation. Keith, are you drunk? And Keith is probably like, no.
He's like, no, dude.
No. So, I mean, smelling like cigarettes. Okay, so the guy's a smoker. Okay.
Yeah. He was just trying to trash someone.
Yeah.
That's why it's rude, and that's why you're on prelim.
Yep.
Whatever.
But he's fighting Casey Kenny. He should beat Casey Kenny. This is a fucking tune-up fight for Dom.
Hopefully.
He's getting handed something easy.
I mean,
hopefully.
Because if he doesn't, let's be real.
Then it's I don't know what's left for you, Dom.
Yeah, he's pretty much done.
You're out of title contention.
There's not a whole lot more.
Yeah.
He becomes a gatekeeper, I guess, maybe.
Or he could fight TJ Dillashaw.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to have TJ fight
Yo, put them both in bare knuckle boxing.
Right?
I watched it. I'm in. I'm fucking in, bro.
There's
I
some
might
good bare
want to
knuckle
participate,
There's some
bro.
good bare knuckle ones. I can't believe Paige Van Zandt.
How do we sign up? This shit looks great. I was like, I'm in. Let's go.
Well, when Paige Van Zandt signed to bare knuckle boxing, I was like, did you not watch a couple like these dudes get cut to pieces,
they got lit up like
yeah.
Your face looks like hamburger when you're done, bro.
There's a lot of
even
cutting
if you
involved.
win.
Yeah, and listen, there's some things I like about Paige Van Zandt. Her striking abilities are not one of them.
Yeah. Such is that camp. I mean, so
yeah. Well,
whatever.
When your husband's your head coach and he's telling you can do anything you want.
Yeah.
You're gonna do whatever you want.
Yeah, don't even get me fucking started.
But anyways, so the card is stacked with phenomenal fights. Alexander Rakic versus Thiago Santos. That's a fucking, oh my god! Both those guys have crazy knockout power. And I think this is our first fight with Thiago since his fight with John Jones, because he blew out both of his fucking knees in that fight. And Alexander Rakic is fucking, he's a special talent, fast, powerful. So that's gonna be a good one. I think who else is on that? Then of course the title fights, which Jan and Aljo are even money right now in the betting. So
oh wow,
yeah, which I agree with, because
Mm-hmm.
Petr Yan's got that whole thing where he's just got that Russian powerhouse where he's a fucking freight train, but Aljamain also has the I can hop on your back in the first 10 seconds of this fight and choke you out energy. Yeah. He's also good on his feet, so like the fight against Corey Sandhagen was crazy because this is like essentially a title eliminator, and everybody knew Corey Sandhagen was good, and in the first 30 seconds gets his back taken by Aljo and gets choked out. And since then we've seen Sandhagen with two spectacular knockouts: a spinning back fist knockout of Marlon Moraes and a flying knee knockout of Frankie Edgar. So the guy is good, which is who I think they're pairing him with TJ when TJ comes back, which is going to be a crazy fight. But Aljo is good in many aspects, on the ground and on the feet. But Petra's a fucking Russian tank, and those dudes don't go out easy. You got to essentially kill those dudes because they don't go.
Russia is going to be the Africa. How Africa's taking over, they're going to have their time, and then Russia's going to come because they're like, we'll show you struggle.
Yeah, we've got two big Russians right now. Habib is either here or there. We're not entirely sure. I think he's gone.
I think so too.
Yeah, so there's Zabit in the 145s who could easily be champion. He's phenomenal. I don't know if he's injured or something, but he has been fighting. He's amazing to watch. Petr Yan at the 135. In the 125s, I think Askar Askarov, but I think he missed weight yesterday. So he's fighting Joseph Benavidez. So we'll see. He's also another Russian fighter. I think at the 170, there was a guy related to Habib, but he ends up not being as good as Habib. I think he's Habib's cousin, but he's not nearly as good. 185, I don't know any of the Russians at 185. And then other than that, I mean, Africa right now is going through a tear.
Yeah.
And Ngannou,
they might have it for a while. Africa might be the Mexico
I think
of boxing.
Sadiq Yusuf is either a 145 or a 135er, and he's from Africa.
Oh boy, Africa's huge too. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's different.
Statistically,
and it's different like parts of it as well. So
yeah.
We'll see, man.
Yeah. What's your money fight for the card then? Like, what's the one you're like, if you're 100%, they're gonna win? Like
Amanda Nunes.
Amanda Nunes.
Listen, my friend got very upset with me when I said that they got to stop just feeding Amanda all these bums. And he was like, well, it's really rude of you to call Megan Anderson a bum. I'm like, who the fuck is she beating?
She's not on Nunes' level.
She's beaten two women who were unranked, and now she's the number one contender. Why? Because there's 4 fighters in that division.
It's a round robin of all right, who's going to take out Amanda next?
Yeah. I'm like, you know who she lost to? Holly Holm and Felicia Spencer, 2 women that Amanda Nunes brutalized.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what they should do just to make it fair is they let Amanda in first in the octagon, let her stand there, and then when the second person comes out, they bring out this wall of weapons because that's the only way it's going to be fair.
Yeah.
No edged weapons. I'm not trying to kill her, but like a bow staff. Maybe you get a tonfa, one of those fucking. That would be great.
So any of that, my buddy was like all on my ass about it because I was like Amanda should be fighting men. Like she could.
There's no one else.
There's no one else for her. She could.
Maybe I don't know. There might be some fucking smoker.
It's either her and Valentina are Valentina, Joanna, and Jessica Andrade and Rose Namajunas are the only good female fighters anywhere right now in any division. They're the only female fighters that are great. But we've seen Joanna lose to Valentina. We've seen her lose to Rose twice. Weili Zhang is good.
Yeah.
There's
No matter which way you add it up,
Yeah,
the
Amanda
MMA
is
math is the top. There's a pyramid.
Yeah. And
She's
Amanda
sitting there.
beat Valentina twice.
Yeah.
So the only one that's even not nearly up there is Valentina, who dominates a 125 division, and Amanda, who now dominates a 145 division. So it's a 20-pound weight difference from when they originally fought. Totally. But I was like, she's got to start fighting dudes, and he was like, Amanda Nunes is good, but like she could probably beat like top level amateurs, but she can't beat any pro male fighters. And I was like, she could easily beat most of the 135-pound men's division. Like, I think anyone in the top 15,
That's rude.
from top 15 to top 10, she could smoke those dudes. When you get in the top 10, I think she would struggle. Like, she's not gonna beat Marlon Moraes or TJ Dillashaw. She's not gonna beat those guys, but she could probably beat Sean O'Malley.
Yeah. 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 You're right. Before we get any more canceled, what's your social, Stephen Roth? Thank you for sitting in on this episode of the Gameboiz.
Anyways, my socials are XWROTH _ on Instagram and XWROTH on Twitter. You can find me there. I tweet stuff.
Dope. And you're back in the comedy scene now?
Yes, yeah. I wasn't able to come last. I didn't have any money. I had literally like $20 in my account. I had to ask my girlfriend for money for food. It was bad. Like, I was like, yeah. So, yeah.
I'm at the George F on everything. We're at the Buddy System Co. Go to www.thebuddysystem.co for everything. Thanks for listening, guys. Catch you later. Bye.
Hadouken!